What is up, y'all? Will here with Schedulefly and the Restaurant Owners Uncorked podcast, brought to you by Schedulefly, simple restaurant employee scheduling software backed by legendary customer service and sponsored by Pop Menu and Kickfin, and you'll hear more about them in just a minute. This episode is with Todd Garton, COO of the Pilf restaurant group down in Texas. And boy, these folks have got, they've got 4 concepts. 3 of them are pizza related. Each has their own style of pizza. You got Detroit, you got Neapolitan, you got New York, and then they have an ice cream concept as well. So pizza and ice cream. They've got 11 total locations. Great group. And Todd is so fun to talk to. I thoroughly enjoyed getting to do this. I'd hoped to be there in person for this. Wasn't able to, so we did it over Zoom. And, I'm going to make a point to get down there. Just listening to him talk about the pizza alone makes you want to go and try each of the different kinds. Finish it off with some ice cream. But Todd's a sharp dude. He's been in the business a long time, and he knows a lot about it, and he's really good at what he does. So you're going to enjoy this episode. Before you get to enjoy the conversation with Todd, let's hear a word from our sponsor, Pop Menu. Pop Menu is, they're a partner of Schedulefly, and we have a lot of happy mutual customers. But Pop Menu is all about making your day easier and your sales bigger. They will simplify your marketing operations, bring in more guests, capture customer data for personalized remarketing to keep them coming back. With one super simple to use platform that integrates with most point of sales like Toast and Square and a number of others, Pop Menu starts with a beautifully designed, easy to update interactive menu that transforms the guest experience online. It includes a brand new website that's optimized for search engines like Google for no additional cost, automated digital marketing, online ordering and waitlisting, and you'll never miss another call with their AI answering solution that costs as little as 47 cents an hour. Check it out. Check out the link in our show notes. There's so much more in Pop Menu. Here's my 2 cents. I've talked to a lot of our mutual customers, and here's what they say about Pop Menu. Great company, great customer service, great product, great results. Check out Pop Menu and check out this episode of Restaurant Owners Uncorked.
How's it going, man?
What's up, Todd?
Not much. How are you doing?
Oh man, I wish I were there hanging with you, but I'm glad we're able to do it this way.
Yeah, no worries, man. I know you got stuff going on, so no big deal.
I love that. Love the Caddyshack poster there in the background, man. That's pretty sweet.
Oh, yeah. My office is like my home office is kind of the one place I have to do whatever I want in my house. So I got a bunch of movie paintings and stuff kind of on the walls and everything. So
good. Well,
yeah,
my home office is why I get to have that leg lamp right there behind you from Christmas Story.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was wondering if that was actually the leg lamp.
That is the leg lamp, man. It is a small version of it. It's one of my favorite things that I own.
Yeah, Fragile must be Italian. Yes,
must be.
Right.
You know,
that's
what
a classic, man.
We could just sit here and instead of doing a podcast, we could just recite the entire movie. I bet from beginning front to end, man.
Probably. It's. I usually watch it about once a year when TBS has the 24-hour marathon. But prior to that, I probably saw it hundreds of times when I was younger.
It's all time. So it's Caddyshack there. Okay. Tell me what. If you wouldn't mind, just introduce yourself, Todd.
Yeah, I'm Todd Garton. I'm the COO for what we call the Pilf restaurant group, but under that is Cane Rosso, Zoli's New York Pizza, and Thunderbird Pies. So all 3 pizza restaurants, and Cow Chip and Creamery as well, which is our ice cream shop. So
4 different concepts, and y'all are growing. How many locations do you have? It seems like.
So we've got with the ice cream with Cow Tipping, we've got 11. So 1 Cow Tipping, we've got 1 Thunderbird Pies, which is our Detroit style pizza. We've got 7 Cane Rossos, which is the Neapolitan style, and then 2 Zoli's right now, which is the New York style pizza. So, okay. But all different styles, catered to all different people. Most people, a lot of people who hate Cane Rosso love Zoli's and vice versa. So
no way, really.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just it's the opposite ends of the pizza spectrum is what a lot of people consider it like that. So we play on that though in our social media, like, you know, on a social media page on one of the Zoli stores, we might say, well, those jerks at Connie Rosso are doing this. And, you know, on our Connie Rosso social media pages, we might say those jerks at Zoli's are doing this, you know, so we have fun with it though.
I like that. I like that. So people really are in their style of pizza, huh?
Yeah. People find what they like, man. You know, I like it all, but some people, you know, Connie Rosso is it's Neapolitan, so it's much thinner crust. It's a lighter type pizza. You know, it's the fluffy crust, not super heavily topped. It's got tip sag. When you pick it up, it literally will kind of just do that, and everything will fall off of it. You know, and people think, "Oh my God, this is terrible. It's soggy," but it's not. That's the style of pizza. You know, so but Zoli's is more your New York style, which is what most people, especially down here in Texas, are used to. You know, more of a rigid, you know, slice of pizza, pretty much. So it's more heavily topped and all that. So, but
that's what New York is. Okay, and then Detroit is like thick, and
Detroit's much thicker. It's got basically a caramelized cheese crust. So instead of your typical kind of pizza crust that you see on like a round pizza, we cook them in deep pans, and, you know, basically before they put them in the oven, they put cheese on the sides and kind of, you know, shove it down between the pan and the dough and all that, and it caramelizes. So that's really the crunchy part of the crust. I love Thunderbird. I love the Detroit style. That's actually probably I love all of them, but that's probably my favorite style that we do right now. So it's much it holds good. It's probably the most filling one we have, probably. So I'm not saying you can't eat a whole pizza, but it's a little harder to eat a whole Thunderbird pie than it is eating a Connie Rosso pizza, which I've eaten plenty of those by myself. So
yeah, the Neapolitan, there's a place in Charlotte called Anesio's, and I think it's real popular. I went there recently, and it was good. Exactly like you described it. It was very good. But man, I mean, gosh, I could take any style. Pizza's so freaking good. I mean, like, I don't need to.
I'm the same.
When I do, I love it every single time. Like, actually, my shirt here, I got a Bojo's shirt on. They're out in Colorado. Colorado style pizza. So they have like a thick crust, and they have like honey in the crust or whatever. I was out there a couple months ago. I did a podcast out there. They just turned 50 years old.
That's cool. Where's it at in Colorado?
Well, the first one, the one that's turned 50 is in Idaho Springs, which is I don't know, maybe like an hour west of Denver on I-70, and they're all kind of around the greater Denver area.
Cool.
Like 6 or 7 of them. And this dude, like Chip Bear, he started this place 50 years ago when he was young. Like, he slept in a mattress on the floor in the back, you know, like didn't even have money for an apartment for a while and stuff like that. Like 50 years later, they're still going though, man.
That's how I'm sure a lot of people got started in this business, you know. So not having a whole lot, and then started it, and it became what they have today, you know. So a lot of cool success stories like that in our business.
There's tons of them, and I've gotten to tell so many on this podcast. I've loved it. So tell me your story, man. How did you get into hospitality initially?
So college is how it all started. I had a very long college career. I took a lot of victory laps. I have a lot of different generations of college friends and stuff, but finally I started, I went to my freshman year, I went to Texas A&M, and my freshman year was 96, and I didn't, after a few years, I would started working when I would stay there for the summer and stuff. But in what was, some people would call my 5th sophomore year, I started working in the restaurant business, waiting tables, my first waiting tables job ever. I had a couple fraternity brothers and friends that worked at, I'm sure you've heard of Cotton Patch, but a Cotton Patch Cafe was my first restaurant job, and I started waiting tables there. And then after about a year there, I went to work for another company that I ended up working for almost 10 years. But got into management there, moved from College Station to Dallas when I finally got done. at A&M in the end of 2003. And I worked my way up to there. So became a GM with them when I was 24. Left them, and I'm going to give you my whole timeline if you kind of want to, if you want that. But left that company in 2011, and then went to work for a company out of Chicago that unfortunately probably was not a good choice because they didn't last very long. Worked for a local pub for a while, went back to that company out of Chicago, and got a call from a friend that had worked for Connie Rosso, who was at that time basically the director of ops for the company. We had 3 stores in a Zoli's, so 3 Connie Rossos and a Zoli's at that time, so just 4 of them, 4 total. Anyway, that was in 2014, and I became the GM of our Deep Ellum location in Dallas in February of 14. Yeah, and the Deep Ellum location was the first one that Jay, our owner, ever opened. So that's kind of our flagship store. Anyway, did that for 2 years. Then got getting a multi unit role as area manager, and then eventually director of ops. And then I guess about 2.5 years ago, Jay gave me the COO title, and been doing that ever since. So it's been 9.5 years of this company. I love it. Hopefully this company and Jay are the last job I ever have. So, but yeah, love the company. Great. We're very casual, super fun. I mean, if you follow our social media, you can see how fun we are, but yeah, I love it. I love the restaurant business, love the pizza business. To me, it never gets boring. For years, people have asked me, why do I do it? Because, I work a lot, the hours are different than, a lot of your friends out there that have 9 to 5s and all that. But I always just tell them I love doing it. It's the people thing. You never had the same day twice. In 20 plus years, I've never had the same day twice. So, which to me is one of the best parts about it, So the, you deal with some crazy people out there in this business, but the good outweighs any of the negative for sure. So yeah. It's just fun. It's fun. I think anybody that's been in it for as long as I have, and even longer, just say it's fun. And it does take probably a certain type of person to do this for as long as we do, but when you find out that's what you want to do, you're going to do it for the rest of your life. So it'll definitely be what I do for the rest of my life. So I don't see myself in any other industry. I'm not an office person. I could never sit in a cubicle. I could never sit between 4 walls just all the time, So, but yeah, it's great. I love it. So,
well, it says a lot for Jay and what y'all built there. This is where you hope the last place you work. I'm curious, like, tell me about the culture y'all have. Clearly a very fun culture. Like, I can just listen to you talk and tell that you guys obviously work hard, but don't take yourselves too seriously, and deliberately. And I'm sure it's a really fun place to be.
Yeah, it's super fun. We're very casual and laid back. What I wear to work every day, when I go to the restaurants and what meetings, whatever. What I'm wearing now is what I wear. I wear a t-shirt, usually wear my hat. Yeah. So we're real casual. We're laid back. But as far as our culture goes, this is kind of you'll hear everybody say this, but when you have happy employees, when you have happy managers, it's so much easier to run a business, especially a business that is totally about people, pretty much, So one thing we strive to do is make sure our people are happy. Find the right people and then make sure they're happy. We're real big on promoting from within. I think, with the 10 stores and with the 10 pizza shops and the ice cream shop, it's probably I want to say 75% of our salary managers used to be hourly employees for us. Wow. We have an area director, an area manager, who we just promoted, who was a server 4 years ago. A girl who does our in-house catering events was a host when I started at Deep Ellum in 2014. And just a lot of our managers, were the dishwasher when I started in Deep Ellum is the kitchen manager there now. It's just dishwashers. We have bussers, servers, hosts, whatever, that are now managers for us. So I think that says a lot about us, that we like to develop our people and promote them when we have those opportunities. I like to find people that and you don't know anybody better than the people that have worked for you for a long time, and not only that them, you trust them too. So that's why we like putting a lot of those people who are in hourly roles and giving them the shot. If they want the shot, I love giving them the chance to see what they can do and to help us run this thing. So but we like to do, we'll take a couple times a year, we take them to a ball game. We took them all to the Rangers game last year. Earlier this year we took them to the Rough Riders game, which is the Rangers minor league team up in Frisco. We like to do big gatherings like that. So we have it. This is something small, but it's not. But we have a thing that our owner and president CFO came up with not too long ago called the Super Happy Fun Time card. And we give each store each month, we load it's basically a prepaid debit card, and we literally say you can spend this amount on whatever you want for your people, for your employees. And whether it's they buy a TV for a contest they want to run, or they buy a bunch of Gatorades and Red Bulls or candy to snack on, it's kind of whatever they do. So that's a little cool thing we do for all the stores and stuff. That's a perk for our hourlies. A lot of people forget that there's struggles with labor and stuff like that today, and staffing and hiring, but you get your people that you like and you want to take care of them. So that's something that we do to take care of our hourly people right now. So, and it's proven to be awesome. It's kind of a brand new thing for us. So, but it's been fun and they love it. So,
That's
but
awesome.
but yeah, culture is a huge deal. I mean, if you have a bad culture, then you're not going to keep your employees and you're not going to be successful, So you gotta have a good culture for sure. Good, positive, everything is not puppies and rainbows in this business, but we're going to do everything we can to, have a positive work environment and an atmosphere. And just, we want our people to want to come to work, So we want our employees to want to be here, because if they don't want to be there, then they're going to not be happy. And when they do want to be there, they're going to be happy and get good service. And these people are going to keep coming back and seeing us. So it's a whole big kind of cycle.
Yeah, culture just seems to be, I've really noticed that doing this podcast for a while now. It's like, particularly with groups like you. I mean, how many employees do you have now?
We have over 500. I don't know the exact number. I'm probably never going to know the exact number. If I really wanted to know the exact number, I could find it out. But yeah, but yeah, it's over 500. Which when I started, it was, we had we probably had 150 employees when I started almost 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So.
Well, to grow from 150 in that 10 years to over 500, man, I've just noticed that, like, that's culture is just king, queen, whatever. It makes such a big difference, because turnover's expensive. And in so many ways, there's ways, you can measure the direct cost of training and whatever and all that stuff with turnover, but what you can't measure is, like, what does that do to the flow of the operation? What does that do to guest experience, to the regulars that are there? That, it's insane. So, but I've noticed that organizations like yours that have a great culture and keep people around and promote from within, it's just like you said, it all grows on itself and manifests in a company that can grow from 150 to 500 to 750 to 1,000 employees, and not do it with tons of growing. I mean, there's always growing pains, but if you can figure out how to scale that culture and keep that culture as you grow, that's so key. Some people can't. Some people lose their culture as they grow. Maybe it's not clearly defined enough or whatever it is, and you see you see the folks that start to have problems with growth because of that. But if you can figure out how to keep that as your glue, at least from what I've seen, it just seems to be such an important piece of that puzzle. And you guys are obviously growing. You have grown and grew through COVID. I imagine do you have more openings coming in the next year or two, or?
We don't have anything in the works right now, but I think we're probably getting that bug again to where we're probably going to have something pop up on the horizon pretty soon. So, we want to get bigger. We want to grow. We want to create new opportunities for the people in our company, that we think can do the jobs. We always want to grow. So growth it's fun. it's fun. It create, obviously we want more revenue from new stores and all that, so we can continue to grow and do stuff for our people and all that stuff. But yeah, I think we'll start getting some more stuff on the horizon soon. For a while, it seemed like it was just boom, 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 like one right after the other. Like we would open one, then we would start one, then open one, and then start one, and it got a little hectic. But we opened our store. We opened a Connie Rosa in North Dallas about a year ago now. I think it was right in the middle of the summer when we opened it last year, and we kind of took a break after that one. So just to kind of focus on the ones we had, get them where we kind of wanted them, which we're still doing, but focus on our people and but like I said, now we're getting some stuff in place to help us grow a little better now, and so we're probably starting again pretty soon.
So how is it going so far this year? People are past all the COVID stuff now. Are people going out? Inflation's been a big thing. Prices have gone up. Like what's it looking like out there?
We definitely still see some of the effects of it. Obviously, I mean, it seems like it's still, you still hear about it from time to time, but it seems like forever ago now, like 2020. I mean, we're in 2023, but 2020 to me seems like 10 years ago. So, but there's still things that happened during that time that are still affecting us now. Like there's still somehow supply chain shortages. The inflation, like you said, especially recently, I think it's probably affecting people a lot more than it was back last year or whatever. But it's leveled out. Some of the stuff is leveled out, but I mean, you still do see some of it, and we're probably going to still see some of it for a long time, Like the biggest thing, you mentioned it earlier, was the turnover. That's something that we're still struggling with and fighting with, more than we ever did before 2020. So that year definitely did a number on our industry, as I'm sure that but we've learned to we've learned what we have to do to work with it to make happen what we need to happen still, but I don't want to say we're getting used to somebody working for a month and then leaving, but it's just something that happens more often than it used to. You don't have as many of your if you find somebody, if you have an employee that works for you for like 6 months now, it's like, oh my God, you're like a unicorn, just because there's not many of those people left. We used to have a lot of lifers in this industry. Dallas was, like many other towns, Dallas just had people that's what they did, like you knew everybody, and there was just, whether it was bars, restaurants, whatever. It's just, there were so many people in it that it's just what they loved and what they knew. And there was, the service industry in this town, in the city, this metroplex, it's just a really tight knit group, But during that time where a bunch of people had to shut down, and I'm sure everybody says this, we lost a lot of those lifers. They're like, well, this has been my job and my income for, 20 years or whatever, some of them longer than that. And now it's gone. So what am I gonna do? So a lot of those people that I know are realtors, or they're involved with, doing mortgage stuff, or maybe they went into now they're a wine or beer rep or something, but we don't have, they're just not, the core group of the service industry people just aren't here like they used to be a long time ago. So, there's a lot more job jumpers than there used to be, which is fine. I mean, if people want to keep trying new stuff, that's up to them. But that definitely the one thing we're struggling with the most probably still, since all of that craziness, is still probably the hiring and the staffing and stuff like that. It's amazing how many people don't show up for interviews and come for one day of training and stop coming and stuff like that. But it's hopefully it changes. But we've come to realize that's just kind of how things are going to happen some of these days. So, but that's probably the biggest lingering thing since that time, is just the staffing issues. Like you said, the inflation now affects it some still. Hopefully that will go away sooner than later, though. The supply chain stuff isn't as bad, but it's still lingering. But the one thing that's just still there all the time is just the staffing and the hiring thing. So
you can make really good money now too. I think this is such a great career path. If you get tied into a restaurant group like yours that's done well, that's growing, sky's the limit, right? And you don't, it's a diverse,
it really is,
where it doesn't really matter. It's not like, okay, well, where did you go to college, or, who do you know? I mean, it's just, hey man, are you going to show up and work hard and take great care of our guests? Then dude, you're like, I mean, it's like you've been here 6 months, you're a unicorn. It's amazing how, how many opportunities you have if you go work for a group like yours that is going to grow like that and continue to, you can turn it into a really lucrative career. And then I know that, like, a lot of folks are offering more and more benefits these days. That was a thing in the past where it's like, I can't get any of the normal benefits that I'd want to get in a real job or whatever, quote. And seems like a lot more of that now, and a lot more opportunities to grow and, be promoted and take responsibilities.
Yeah, with the growth and promotion stuff. I mean, if we have an hourly employee that comes to us and says, hey, I'm really interested in management, and then we're all like, all right, let's figure it out. And we'll put them in a front of house supervisor hourly role, or something like that, just see what they've got, and you don't want to, when people come to you these days, especially, but even before, whatever, but these days, especially, if somebody comes to you and they're motivated and they have the drive and they want to grow, you take advantage of that. You say, cool, let's try it out. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but you got to take those chances these days. That's how you're going to find your best people. So, one thing there's a ton of great restaurant GMs and kitchen managers and all that out there. But sometimes somebody who has the most kick-ass resume ever, might not be as good as somebody who's worked for you for a couple of years who wants to move up, So, and that's how it's worked out a lot for us, to be honest. We've hired some really great people who with great experience and resumes, but they just didn't work out for us, And then we hire somebody who was a host for us, or we promote somebody who's been with us for 5 years to a host to a GM eventually, and then, hey, look at that, it worked out. So, but I think a lot of that stuff works out because they came up in the industry with us and they kind of learned our ways, they learned our culture, and that's why they work out. So, but anyway, like I said, hopefully the whole thing, calms down eventually, but it's just the one thing that's still the most lingering.
All right, y'all, time for a little mid-episode break to talk about Kickfin, our mid-episode sponsor and a great business. Thousands of restaurants, bars, and breweries use Kickfin to tip out their employees instantly, no cash required. With Kickfin, tips go directly to your employer's bank of choice the second their shift ends. It's a really simple solution to a really big problem, because if you're still paying out credit card tips in cash, it's costing you. Time-consuming bank runs and cash counting take managers away from work that matters. Cash is hard to track, which leads to accounting headaches, and it creates the perfect opportunity for theft, human error, and compliance issues. Bottom line, there's never been an instant, secure way to pay out tips until Kickfin. It's an easy-to-use software that sends real-time cashless tip payouts straight to your employees' bank accounts 24/7, 365. Kickfin gives managers hours back in their day, makes reporting a breeze, and protects your business from risk. Most importantly, employees love it. Restaurants can have Kickfin up and running overnight. Employees can enroll in seconds. No hardware, no contracts, no setup fees. Visit kickfin.com for a personalized demo and see how restaurants across the country are digitizing tips with Kickfin. That's what they like me to read. I will tell you this. I know the folks at Kickfin. Check out the episode with Brian Hassan, the co-CEO of Kickfin, was on here on the podcast. Great people, love what they do. They treat their customers well. We have mutual customers that love the product and love the way the relationship they have with Kickfin. So check it out, link in the show notes, and let's check out the rest of this episode.
What do you spend most of your time on right now? Like, what are some of the key initiatives you're working on?
Right now, a big thing we're working on is one thing that is kind of we obviously you get good reviews, bad reviews, whatever. But one thing that whenever we get the bad ones, one thing that we always see is the online ordering, your online ordering sucked, or we had to wait for our order or whatever. So one thing we're working on for that is we have online ordering, but I'm sure you've heard of Olo, but we're working with a company in our POS system now to try to get them, involved or get them going so we can streamline our online ordering stuff, which will in turn help labor, all kinds of stuff. That's kind of a big thing I'm working on now. I'm COO, but I do a lot of the IT stuff for us too. So that's kind of why I'm involved in that. But the things like that, not only, it helps with labor, it helps with revenue streams and all that. So those are the things that we're constantly trying to work on, is things like that. And the reason I give that example is because that's kind of what I was working on a lot today. So, but I like that kind of stuff. I like the technical side of it. I like the IT part of it, working with the POS systems and all that kind of stuff. Where obviously I try to work on a lot of ways to develop our people. We just actually one of the things we did to kind of help our corporate structure is we just hired on a training development person to help out. So one thing we're going to do is try to, really develop a really awesome management program, so when we do find these good people, we just train them the best we can to make them the best managers we can, so they stick around with us forever. So, of course, we've always trained our managers, but we really want to work on just a kick-ass program for, training our managers, and then also our hourly people and all that kind of stuff. Like I said, we've always had training, but that's one of the things we're working on right now, is to try to really get that to be a kick-ass program. So
you brought somebody in full time for that?
Yeah, we actually it's a training and development manager is their title. I was thinking that in my head, but somebody we brought on to with experience in that field, to try to streamline all kinds of stuff as far as our training programs go, but with a big focus on the management side of it, because there's so many things that go on, and you every day in this business you learn something new every day in this business, even if you've been doing it for 20 years, so there's just constant there's always education going on, always learning. People are always learning, people are always teaching, so we've got somebody like that to kind of help with that process, so if any of that makes sense. I kind of rambled a lot through that.
No, it makes a ton of sense. That's a big part of it. So
in our company, we're still smaller, so things that we're adding now are things that like huge corporations have probably had for years, but we're kind of at that, we're small enough to where we didn't need it really before, but now it is good to start adding those positions, just because that's going to help with our growth. So
that'll help with your growth. Absolutely. Those are key parts of that.
Because obviously, as you grow, the same amount of people that you have when you had this many stores, and as you grow, you're going to need more people to do that many, the other stores you add. So, but that's, growth is a big thing for us right now, just so. And he's working on all kinds of stuff for that. So go ahead. Sorry.
Do you spend a lot of time traveling around out to the stores, or like what's I know a normal day but
I still do. I still do, not as much as I used to, but I still do. I'm probably out in a store, at least one store, most days of the week. I still part of the I'm obviously that's like one thing that I enjoy the most about this industry is the people. And when I started, and I first started in a multi-unit role with the company back in 2016, when I got to that point, I knew everybody in the company, whether they were servers or bartenders or cooks or whatever, but we also had 4 stores then. And so now we've got this many, and it's just, and especially with the turnover, I can't do that anymore, but I still want to get out there and, I want to try to get to know everybody if I can. But the biggest thing is I like to spend time with our managers. Because, I still think I have a lot to offer them and teach them, it's important that me and, the rest of the, our corporate people get out there as much as we can with them, just to, because any conversation we have with them, is helping develop them, no matter what the conversation is about. If it's a 2-minute conversation, I'm a talker. I can sit down with somebody for 2 hours if I wanted to and tell them and talk about restaurant stuff, but yeah, I'll always be, I'll have a lot of projects that I'm working on, but I'm also always going to try to get out there and talk to our managers and our employees and everything. So, one, I like it. But I just love to try and develop these people. The biggest thing that, I'm probably going to go off on 100 tangents. That's what I do when I talk a lot. But one of the biggest things, one of the most satisfying things that I get out of this job is developing these people and seeing them succeed. That's, like I said, when I see an old host or an old server who's been promoted to a corporate level position now, like it makes me real proud, especially since I've known them the whole time, and it just makes, that kind of means the world when you see someone who's just developed and you've helped them get there and they're super successful now. And that's, like I said, that's one of the things that makes me the happiest in this business, is when things like that happen. So I get a lot out of that personally. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you talk a lot about the people. It is a people business. It's just, there's a lot of technology, there's a lot of stuff going on out there right now, but there's just, I always say that, like, you probably have like fast food chains will have like equipment and machines flipping the burgers and the fries and stuff eventually, and like one person in there that just like maintains the machines. But on the other end of that is, and there's a place for that, but then on the other end of that, there's like, just like last night, like I have 3 kids. I took my boys out, we went to a local independent place, barbecue joint, good food, good service, unique experience, like, and that's just all around having good people there that make you feel welcome and make you feel, like they're happy for you to be there.
For sure. I tell people this all the time. You go to some restaurants these days and you have a little tablet that sits there on the table, and that's where you order. And the only time you see somebody is if they are bringing you your food or your drinks. And, and I'm sure that one day robots will be our servers and all that kind of stuff, but I always tell people that that's the hill I'll die on, because I can't imagine taking that, the people aspect of it out of the business. When I go to a restaurant, I want someone to talk to. I want them to come tell me about their specials and about what's going on in their restaurant and, what this new drink is and all that stuff, but it's just, you don't get that from when you're literally tapping on a tablet, putting your order in, that's kind of one of the things that the hospitality, the hospitality thing is built on people. And when you take that out of it, you're just losing so much of it. And it becomes, to me, dull and boring. And you got to have the people. And it's just that seeing a lot of places take the people part out of it, it's just kind of, I don't know, it kind of annoys me. That's the right word. So,
well, it gives you all a competitive advantage, because you can, try to do that all you want, but you're just commoditizing your product. You can't commoditize people, happy people, people that are glad that you're there and that are engaging and intentional and present. That's such a big part of it. So folks like y'all that believe in that, just you have that advantage when people start putting in everything and it's all QR codes and tech and just, and it's like, it is totally a commodity.
Yeah. We love technology and we love integrating whatever we can into our business to help grow revenue or to help make things more streamlined or whatever, but as far as the whole, just the interaction, I don't ever want that to go away. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so I know you're a Rangers fan.
I am.
Did you see the other day? I thought of you because you and I had talked about that series. Was it like 2011 with David Freese?
Yeah, we did talk about that, didn't we? Yeah, I was super happy that he declined that, because I don't want that jerk being in their Hall of Fame because he ruined one of the coolest moments of my life.
I knew you would have a great response like that. I saw that the other day. I was actually surprised. Like I didn't really understand. I just saw like a head. Like I don't know why he declined it or whatever, but I did see he declined to be in the Lewis Hall of Fame.
I think he declined it because he didn't feel like he was up to snuff with the rest of those guys. Because the only the reason he was such a big guy in their franchise was because, I mean, the home run he hit that game, literally, that's what killed me that day. So, but I feel like he was trying to say that he didn't feel like he deserved it, which is weird. I mean, why would you not want, a pretty cool accolade from a team like that, But I guess there's a little bit of respect you got to give him for that as well. But yeah, that was one of the coolest and worst sporting days of my entire life.
Yeah, sorry to bring it back up. I know it.
No, it's fine. Being a Dallas sports fan and a DFW sports fan and an Aggie, Texas A&M, sports fan, I've come to learn how to deal with disappointment a lot, unfortunately. So lots of expectations and then not a lot of good things in the end. So
wasn't it Texas A&M that App State came down there and won the first game of the
oh
season?
God, yes. It was the second game of the season. It was we were preseason ranked number 6 last year, and we barely beat Sam Houston State our first game. We're like, oh, it's our first game. We're just working stuff out, and then we got beat by Appalachian State our second game of the season. So that pretty much ended up from there, and we finished with the first losing season we've had since I started school there. So in 1996. So it was a tough season for sure. So
did you
then of course there's the Cowboys who disappoint me all the time, but whatever.
have you had a chance yet to watch Facing Nolan?
I haven't yet. Actually, a bunch of my friends have, and our president and CFO, he actually mentioned it the other day too, on a text thread, and I was like, man, I got to watch that. Everybody's telling me how great it is, especially me being a baseball fan and a Rangers fan, and growing up, Nolan Ryan was when he was with the Rangers was I had a scrapbook of all of his stuff, so I know I would love it. I know that I would love that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So
you would dig it the most, man. I remember him being so good. I did not realize that, especially for a few years there with the
good.
Yeah,
good.
3 years at the Angels, like a sub 2.0 ERA, but had like a losing record. He never won a Cy Young.
The dude never won a Cy. That's what I was saying. The dude never won a Cy Young, and he's literally he's probably the best pitcher that's ever played, and he never won a Cy Young. That's crazy.
53. He's got 53 records to this day that he holds Major League Baseball.
Nuts. It's nuts, and a lot of them will never be. No one will ever break that strikeout record and so many of those other records. There's no chance. So, but yeah, we were growing up. One of my, I met him a couple times, and those were, one time a friend that worked for the Rangers took me down into the clubhouse. I think I was probably like 10 or 11 or 12 or something, and got to meet the whole team, and I signed a ball and some cards, and I was like, coolest thing. But I remember Nolan was there, and I met him, and I was like, that was probably one of the coolest experiences of my life, so and as a child, of course, but yeah, I'm kind of one of those, a lot of people geek out when they see actors and stuff running on the streets. That's how I am with sports guys. Like, it might be a guy who's probably, if they play for our teams, I'm gonna be like, oh my God, I want to meet the guy. So that's kind of how I am still at the age of 45. So
what's your name, dude? I think I'd just go. I'd freeze if I met Clayton Kershaw. He's my guy for the Dodgers, man. I love that dude.
I would love to meet that guy, Dallas guy. Yeah, I would love to meet him. So, are you a hockey fan?
I'm not, man. I've never got. I will say this: I've been to some hockey games, and it is massively exciting. Like, it's insanely fun to go to a hockey game. I just don't know the sport well. We have a team up here in Raleigh. We have the Hurricanes. Yeah. I don't know. I never got into it. But
there was such a good chance of the Stars and Canes going to the Stanley Cup final. I was going to call you if they made it, but of course neither one of them made it.
Yeah, I knew. I know enough to know that was going on. I just never really got into it. But No, love some baseball. I mean, baseball is definitely
Baseball is my number one for sure. Yeah.
That's my gig. I could sit down and watch a baseball game every night in the summer and be happy.
Oh yeah, that's the thing with being in the Central. Usually I'll watch the Ranger games, and then those end these days. They end around 9:30. But the Dodgers or games, and if they're on the East Coast or if they're at home on the West Coast, obviously they're just getting started. So I'll usually watch Dodgers or something like that. At the end of the night if I'm still up, which I usually am. So, but basically I can watch. Yeah, it doesn't have to be my team. I can watch other baseball games too, just because I love it so much. So I'm like that with a lot of sports, most sports though. But my teams are first, of course.
So pizza and ice cream sounds like some good combos. But most people are happy when they're going to eat pizza, and especially when they're going to get ice cream. They tend to be happy. I mean, I'm sure you always have those certain customers, but
yeah,
good businesses to be in, man. Pizza and ice cream.
Yeah, I would say most of the time, most people leave happy. Like you said, you occasionally have those handful of people, but we do what we can to take care of them afterwards too, if they don't leave happy. So,
do you follow all, like you mentioned, the reviews? Like, I mean, now especially with as many, like, do y'all stay up with all the reviews on Yelp and all that stuff, or do you just have to
we try to. We have our chief marketing officer. Who does our social media and all that stuff. He's on top of that, and he usually lets us know, if there's a review that needs attention and stuff like that, which there is every day. We get something every day what we need, what we're gonna have to reach out to a guest, and whether it's thanking them for something or recovering or try to recover them, or say, hey, we want you to come back because we get whatever. Every day there's something going on, but he's real good at staying on top of that. But all of us do look at the sites and stuff, but just he's on top of it because I think he gets like alerts when somebody Google reviews this or Facebook reviews this and all that stuff too. So he gets all those kind of crazy alerts and emails and stuff. But yeah, we try to, as a company, we do try to stay on top of that stuff. It's even if it's somebody who are like, oh, they're just a mad person in general. We still want to reach out to them, because if somebody thinks they didn't have a great time at one of our places, we want to do what we can to get them back, and vice versa. If we get an awesome compliment, we'll say, dude, that's awesome, thank you so much. So, but anyway, answer your question. Yeah, we try to stay up with all the reviews and stuff on social media now. It's just because it's such a huge part of our business now. 20 years ago, we didn't even have like Facebook, and or I don't. I think we had MySpace probably at that time. But yeah, you didn't have that back then, and now it's just such a huge part of the business. But that's also how we do all of our advertising, pretty much. Like we've never done. We'll get some shout outs on radio sometimes, but we've never done TV or billboards or big radio spots or anything like that. With the bad of social media comes a lot of the good as well. I mean, that's literally how we get our names out there. Like I said, we have a huge social media presence. People think that, if you follow us, you're going to get a lot of laughs, but there's a handful of people out there that think we're assholes too. But that's just a huge part of the business. Us being funny on social media and doing funny things, like that's how our name spreads, and that's how we blast our specials out there, or the special days like National Pizza Day or Star Wars Day or that kind of stuff, So, there's some bad that comes with social media, but overall it's kind of how we in reviews, but overall it's kind of how it's how we get our name out there, It's how a lot of people find out about us. So
so reviews, are they split between Google, Facebook, and Yelp, or like where do people tend to review
so restaurants? the biggest one, yeah, I mean, you said the biggest ones out there are and I think that everybody used to always just talk about Yelp and all that, and they were really the first one that kind of said, hey, review this restaurant, I guess, which kind of turned into, hey, come complain about this restaurant. But now I think that people do it just as much. Like Google's a huge one now, but also on Facebook, and even there's, people will comment on our Instagram post if they had a bad time or something. But as far as the actual reviews go, I mean, Facebook, you can recommend or you don't recommend. And Yelp is just, Yelp, and Google is just, write whatever you want. But there's all kinds of avenues. And we also have we also get, there's the feedback that I like the most, if it's a negative, which I don't like any negative feedback, but there are some people that they can submit a submission on our website, and they said, hey, I don't want to write a review, but I just wanted to let you guys know. So that's an avenue that we have too. That doesn't get used as much though as somebody putting it on Facebook or Google or Yelp or whatever. So, but and obviously, I'm sure, as you know, and as most people know, most of the stuff online probably isn't always going to be the most awesome. People are much quicker to go and be like, "Oh, hey, you suck," instead of saying, "Oh my God, I had an awesome time here." It does happen. We love that when that happens, but I wish everybody had a good time. Would put it up there as much as the rest, as much as the people that might not have a good time. So,
I know. It'd be nice to know, like, I don't know, like, okay, so there were X of Yelp reviews, but we all know that most of those are, people that are upset. But out of that represents 3% of the people that visited that restaurant that day, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, because you just get the silent happy guests that just went and had a really good time, and they'll tell their friends, come back again.
You had to pay attention to all the reviews. And, one thing we used to say about Yelp all the time, and it still holds true, is we know that people go on Yelp and maybe they're just not a happy person, and the littlest thing sets them off. But one thing you got to look at those reviews for is look at trends. Like if there's a bunch of reviews, even if it seems like someone like that who's just a mad person, but if a bunch of reviews continuously cite the same thing, then you probably have an issue that you look at, So that's one thing we really look at in reviews is trends. Not necessarily just, oh my God, this person is so angry, but look at those trends that these people are talking about. And if it's the same thing over and over, then it's something we really got to focus on. We also have a thing that we just started using not that long ago, where we have a little QR code on all of our receipts, and it's on our pizza boxes now. But the guests can scan it, and then they can leave. There's a questionnaire, just about their experience, whether it was a dining experience, an online order, a DoorDash delivery thing. There's all kinds of experience they can choose from, whatever theirs was. They can leave feedback, and that comes directly to us, and we reach out to them and stuff. So that's been a pretty cool tool that we just recently started using this year, because it's kind of, having a QR code right there, and our servers will say, hey, there's a QR code here if you want to go leave us some feedback, all that kind of stuff. That comes directly to us, and hopefully, it comes directly to us instead of us finding it out there on the interwebs, So that's a cool tool that we've recently started using as well, which has been very helpful as well. Because we want to know what's going on out there, so we want to know the guest perspective on everything. So,
well, I always wonder about the Uber Eats or DoorDash or whatever, because like, man, you just lose once it leaves, now that person is representing your brand, and that seems like such a tricky proposition, because
that's the toughest thing.
Bad experience with the DoorDash person, which has nothing to do with you.
Exactly. That's the toughest thing with the third party.
Yeah,
that's the toughest thing with the third party delivery services like that. Is you're exactly right. As soon as the guest knows they order from DoorDash or Uber Eats or wherever, Postmates, favorite, whatever, but. And obviously it's still our food, which we still want to give them the best food they can. But, people, there's some people out there that when they order delivery, they literally want it to be piping hot, like it just came out of our wood burning oven, which isn't going to happen, obviously. And that's not a bad thing. It's just, that's science. It's not going to be as hot. We've had drivers and I've seen them do it in front of me, and we stop them, of course, but somebody will send us a picture of a pizza that looks like they just flung it across the room, but what it is I've seen drivers put a pizza in a bag and tilt it and turn it sideways.
Oh, no.
Or they slam on their brakes and it flies the floorboard, so stuff like that. Once we hand it to that third party delivery person, stuff like that's out of our control, but we'll still do what we can. If a guest reaches out and says, "Oh, well, this pizza was it," I mean, from pictures we can usually tell where the mistake happened, if it was us or if it was like a delivery issue. But even if it is an issue that the driver caused, we'll still try to do what we can to make it right. So, but it is funny that some of the delivery drivers, we sometimes people are missing a pizza. And we're like, we're pretty sure we gave it to the driver. So, but that comes with the territory when you use those third party things. You're some of the drivers are fantastic. I mean, some of them are awesome. There's some DoorDash drivers that come in and like, our people, our employees and their managers know them by name, like, because they're awesome. They're friendly and all that. But then you've got your ones that are just like, oh, here's the order on my phone. This is what I need, and they just walk out and So, but overall, those they obviously take some commissions and things like that. But overall, the whole third party delivery thing is something that since we started doing it has been a good thing, obviously, for us. I mean, it's definitely increased our revenue and all that, but then sometimes when you look at those reports about the commissions you pay out, you're just all like, but a lot of those people, the way the world is today, if you're not on one of those third party delivery sites, they're probably ordering for somebody else, because people got, going out to eat is fantastic. I don't do it that much, but it's great. But a lot of people got used to it when we were all, living at home for a while, which, been stuck at home for a while, and they just kind of stuck with it, So, which is fine. I used to, me and my wife, we probably too much would order DoorDash or Uber Eats or whatever. And so we're really trying to stop it now, but we got in the habit of doing it, I don't know, 4 times a week or something. I'm like, oh my God, it's terrible. So not terrible, not the food, just terrible that we were doing that so much, so, but anyway, the third party things, like I said, it's a good thing for the restaurants. But just it just, like I said, basically the reason you brought this up is because the whole representing thing, it does suck sometimes when a driver is kind of representing your restaurant and they screw up the food or don't actually deliver it or things like that. So, but it comes with the territory.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, dude, I'm so glad that we got a chance to do this, and I appreciate it. I appreciate your time, and I mean, we appreciate you. And I'm just glad you and I got to connect like this, man. Thank you, Todd.
Yeah, anytime, man. Let me know. So if I ever come up that way, I'll let you know. If you ever do get down this way, let me know for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Do you ever get up this way?
No, I've never been to that area of the country before, but it's a spot where I need to. So one of my things is I like taking trips, quick trips, whatever. But whenever we go on a vacation, I love to try to work in seeing one of our teams play somewhere, So I think I could definitely do the Stars game up there for hockey, one season. So, but anyway, point is, I would like to get up that way. Yes, lots of people who've been up there that I know say great things about that area and everything. So
if you come up for a hockey game or you come up to see the Cowboys play the Panthers or something like that, man, let me know for sure.
Yeah. Now, are you a Panthers fan too?
Yeah, I mean, I'm born and raised in Charlotte, so
okay, cool.
Yeah. Happy to
Cool,
have
man.
them. We've had so close a couple of times, but
you just gotta get your quarterback thing figured out.
Yes, we do. We're gonna see how this goes this year. We're gonna see. I don't know.
My brother-in-law is actually he's from here, but huge Panthers fan.
Oh, really?
And I always give him crap for it, but yes, he's a huge Panthers fan. So we might have to do a thing like that one time where we go up there to watch the game or whatever. So,
well, what does he think? Do you think we made a good pick?
Oh, I haven't even talked about it actually, but the reason he's a Panthers fan was because he used to love Cam Newton, and so he became a Panthers fan, and then that stuck. So now, even though Cam's been gone for a while, he's still still he's still a big fan. But I always think it's funny. I always give him crap for it. So because he's not a Cowboys fan, he's from here. So
yeah, Cam he certainly had a great run there for a little while.
yeah.
Well, dude, thank you very much, man. I'll let you get back to it. I appreciate you. We appreciate you all. As a Schedule Fly customer, and thank you for the business.
We appreciate y'all too, man. Y'all are always awesome. Whenever we need something, y'all are right there for us. And the tools that we've been able to use with Schedule Fly have been super helpful over the years. So it's been a good relationship. So
we appreciate you, and pass that along. Tell everybody I said hello.
Will do.
I'll get some trucker hats and tube socks down your way sometime here soon to pass around.
Cool.
You like hats?
Sounds good, man.
Those around here.
Oh yeah, always.
All right, Todd. Thanks, man. I appreciate you. We'll talk again soon.
Yeah, thanks, Will. I'll talk soon. Bye.
See you.
Hey, y'all, before you sign out on this episode, a couple of quick things. Number one, if you listen to us on iTunes, if you could give us a star rating and a comment, it would help so much. Same thing if you're on Spotify, follow us, or any platform that you're on. If you would just do whatever their rating or follow options are. What that does is it tells the algorithms that this content is good and meaningful and valuable, and it'll tell them to put it in front of more people. So thank you for doing that. If you take the second to do that, that'd be so awesome. And also, if your restaurant is either using Excel or you're using some software that's expensive and has a lot of bells and whistles you don't need, or maybe doesn't have great customer service, we'd love to take care of you at ScheduleFly. Simple, easy restaurant employee scheduling software, legendary customer service, 30-day free trial, schedulefly.com. My cell phone number's on the trial sign-up page. Thank you for listening. See ya.